What is up, my friends? Welcome to Flippin Bats. I just got back from Bristol, Tennessee, where the Speedway Classic was. We're going to talk all about that. The positives, obviously, it ended up raining, which is a negative, but it was an incredible event to see in person. And there's a lot of talk out there about the event itself and how it ended up. Look, you can't control the rain. It sucked that it rained, but it was really cool to be there on hand for it. Going to talk about that. Talk to Brent Suter as well. He's going to be on the show talking about him. I talked to him down on the field, and I'm going to play that because one, I think it really brings together what every player was saying about the Speedway Classic and their thoughts on it. But he's also the really good at impressions, and he does a Terry Francona impression, and of course, I had to get him to do a Ricky Bobby impression. He does that as well. So we're going to talk to Brent Suter on the show. We're going to talk about knee-jerk reactions from the trade deadline. Just look, we're a few days past the deadline. What does it look like? Who's done well? Who hasn't done well? Just knee-jerk, like, oh, you know what? Actually, I feel like this. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about the Miami Marlins today because they deserve it. It's Monday. Power rankings are coming. They're not yet out on social media because my travels over the weekend back from Bristol were insane. So I don't have that graphic, but we're going to talk about them here. We're going to debut the power rankings right here. A FanDuel segment because Flippin' Bats is presented by FanDuel. Bet baseball with us all season long on America's #1 sports book. And I was literally just looking through stuff for this episode and prepping with what I want to say. And I did see a video that Freddie Freeman has kind of figured out his swing. And it's a big part due to the viral Coldplay concert Kiss Cam video. I'll explain. It's honestly nuts. We'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the Speedway Classic. I traveled in on Friday. In case you haven't heard or didn't know, getting to Bristol, Tennessee is not easy. Very small airport. You can't get there with a nonstop. You got to connect somewhere. So getting there, I got there late Friday night, and then Saturday was the big day. It rained all day Saturday, literally all day. Went over to the stadium. It was really cool to see. And then I walked in, and you can't prepare yourself for what it looked like. You can't prepare yourself for walking into a stadium that holds like 120, 130,000 people and to see a baseball stadium in the middle of it. It was really cool to see. But then I was around when the Cincinnati Reds showed up, and I was on the baseball stadium, like on the stands they built right behind home plate when the Reds showed up. And to see all of them come out of the locker room and the clubhouse and down the tunnel and see it for the first time standing on the field and to look out, it was really cool to see. And from talking to so many players, their genuine excitement to be there and to be a part of it. And look, I get it. When you're in the middle of a baseball season, traveling to the middle of nowhere and having to take a bus ride and not being close to the stadium, like it's a lot, especially going for one day. So I get the whole crowd of suck it up. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play baseball. Like I get that. Okay. I get that. But on the contrast, like these guys get in a routine and to have to travel for one day to go play in this stadium, like it could easily be like, oh, God, here we go. But it wasn't at all. They were genuinely so excited and in awe. Like I was down on the field when the Braves got down there, and I heard Ozzy Albies walked out and just said, "This is insane. This is so cool." And that was the sentiment from everybody. And I did a live Twitter show on Major League Baseball's Twitter or X account. And it was me and Lauren Shahadi doing the show. And we're just interviewing a bunch of players. And one of those players was Brent Suter, who is an absolute character. And I want to play that interview for many reasons. One, because he really you get the feel of how these players were feeling about being there and how excited they were. But he also ends up doing an incredible Terry Francona and Ricky Bobby impersonation. So I wanna let you hear that interview. So from down on the field at Bristol Motor Speedway, here is Cincinnati Reds pitcher Brent Suter. Here in Bristol, Tennessee, at Bristol Motor Speedway. What do you think about all this?
We were just talking, like, this is one of the cooler things I've done. I mean, you just look up and it's just rows and rows of people ready for this game. Great matchup tonight, you know, Spencer Strider versus Chase Burns, but the setting, I've never been inside a NASCAR stadium before, so I'm checking all kinds of boxes off.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Are you a NASCAR fan?
No. I respect the heck out of NASCAR drivers and the sport. It's a crazy hard sport, but I've never been to a race. I've never been inside a stadium, so I'm not really a NASCAR fan, but now I am.
For never being to a race, you gave a pretty good impression the other day on that social media. Incredible.
He was the best.
you were the best one.
I admit I was looking at the YouTube video, right? So I was like matching pitch with it, doing the Ricky Bobby. But it's definitely one of those things. I love Talladega Nights. I love shake and bake, all that stuff. But I've never gotten into NASCAR, and now I'm about to.
Terry Francona is my favorite manager. What top 5
right.
in the game? I need an impression from you of your skip.
When they're riding the cars around, they're just trying to see how fast they can get. That's all they're trying to do, how fast they can get. Let's go get them.
How pumped is he for tonight? It just feels like it's right down his alley.
Oh, he's pumped. He's pumped. I mean, Millar's here, Sean Casey's here, like all his old guys are here. And so he's just on cloud 9. He was, doing an interview. He's just having a great time with it, as all of us. So we're super excited, super grateful to be in this. This is my first MLB Exhibition Series game. I'm so grateful to, get to check this one, and this is one of the cooler ones I've ever seen. So really excited, really grateful, and let's get him tonight.
I heard him talk in the media pregame, and he said, I'm trying to enjoy it because we have a game to win. But are you able to, through your career, just the baseball resume, incredible, and all the boxes you've checked, are you able to kind of look around and take stock in what you've done in this game?
There's time for that for sure, and definitely coming in and like taking videos when we got here for the day's sake was definitely like I'm soaking it in. As we get closer to game time, start getting a little more serious. Probably like an hour, half hour to an hour before the game, I'll start getting serious to it. I try to make sure I take those moments of like, man, I'm really grateful for what this game has given me and all my teammates. So it's just a really, really grateful feeling I get when I think about baseball.
Do you know what car you're going to drive in? I saw them all, and I was trying to pick which one I would pick. I would pick the red one. I mean, no pun intended. It just looks better. What are you gonna choose?
I don't know if I get to choose. I think my number and name are already on a truck.
They're already assigned.
Yeah, I think they're already assigned. I think I have a red one. I think I'm with you on a red one.
For the win.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I was wondering if I was commissioner for the day, where I would put the next exhibition game, right? And I was thinking I spent time in North Dakota, like the Badlands or some place cool like that. If you were commissioner for a day, where would you build the next game?
Oh, that's a great. You're saying in NASCAR or just in general? Oh.
U.S.
I would maybe go college football. You know what I mean? Maybe like a
swamp.
Yeah, the swamp.
Oh, that's sick.
Something like
Can you
that.
imagine?
That's sick.
Yeah, that would be cool. Or like maybe LSU. It's a really good baseball town. Going like the swamp down there, or Florida swamp. You could do all kinds of things. NFL stadiums. I think Football Avenue would be really cool to get the size of the people with matching up the football passion. So I think that'd be cool.
Right, you mentioned Ricky Bobby. You're incredible at impressions. I can't let you get away without doing a Ricky Bobby impression. Let's
the
hear
best
it.
one there is.
The one I did yesterday, I'm just the greatest, and there's just no doubt about it. I just expel excellence, and it's just a shake and bake. That's all it is. That's all. Thank you, baby Jesus. Yep.
Incredible.
You're the best. Say welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the game between the Reds and the Braves.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a game between the Reds and the Braves. Let's go get them, shake and bake.
Let's play ball.
All in all, just a really, really special event, a really incredible thing to see that unfortunately the rain messed it all up. You can control everything. You can control the stadium. You can control what it looks like. You can control the teams. How many tickets you sold? Over 91,000 tickets were sold. 91,034. Officially making it the most attended baseball game in Major League history. And you can say, well, it got rained out, and then the next day there weren't that many people there. Here's what I do know. When that flyover happened, national anthem, flyover, and then there was a bit of a delay, and then first pitch, everyone came back. But when that flyover happened, there were 91,034 people sitting there in the stands going crazy for some Major League Baseball. So the memory for people The talk on social media is going to be, oh my God, it rained and it didn't go well and blah, blah, blah. I get it all. But for that little bit of time where everyone packed in and the anthem happened and the players were taking the field, even though it was raining, the players were like out on the field stretching and we were just pushing forward. Unfortunately, it started dumping right before first pitch, right as Chipper and Johnny Bench and like Kurt Busch and all those guys were out there. Right as that was happening, it just started dumping. So they couldn't start the game. But it was really, really special to see that many people packed in there for a baseball game and a really cool event to see. So I came back, got back late Sunday, and here we are, ready to talk some baseball. So really fun show down on the field with Lauren Shahadi, by the way. What a pro. She's just a pro. It's August 4th, meaning we're just a few days past the trade deadline. So what I want to talk about is over the weekend, just knee-jerk reactions from the trade deadline. Obviously, we don't have a big sample size, and that's fine. But what we do have is knee-jerk reactions. And you know what my knee-jerk reaction to the trade deadline and watching things go down this weekend is, you know what? The Philadelphia Phillies did a really good job. That's the team that I think about. The Philadelphia Phillies crushed the trade deadline. Yohan Duran is an absolute stud at the back end of the bullpen. He's a star of a closer, and it's exactly what the Phillies need. Could they have used Luis Robert Jr. in the outfield? Sure, of course. But like it didn't end up working out. And I don't look at the Phillies and coming into the trade deadline, I don't look at the Phillies roster and say, you know what they need? They need offense. They need starting pitching. No, I looked at the Phillies and said that they need a closer. And God, did they get a closer? This ain't Sir Anthony Dominguez in the back end of at the back end of a game. This ain't Carlos Estevez. This ain't Hector Neris. This ain't Gregory Soto, Jordan Romano. This is Yohan Duran. And he is a stud. And I'm just watching him come in, his new intro, his entrance coming over from the Twins. Now the Phillies have it. He comes in. The place is jam-packed. And the place is going wild for him. And on Sunday, he threw the fastest pitch in the history of Citizens Bank Park. 103.3 miles an hour to Riley Green. And then the very next pitch was the fastest strikeout pitch in franchise history since the pitch tracking era started. And that was 102 point something. 103.3 and then over 102 back-to-back pitches. And I was just thinking to myself, and this is why it's a knee-jerk reaction, I was just thinking, you know what? The Phillies problem wasn't offense. The Phillies problem wasn't starting pitching. The Phillies just genuinely needed a shutdown guy in the back end. And they went and got it done. And they gave up a lot to do it. But worth it. Genuinely. I can't remember the last time the Phillies had a guy in the ninth inning coming in and thought, oh, this ball game's over. It's been so, with this current roster, this Phillies team, there's a few different pieces. Obviously, like, you know, you added some in the offseason. But this Phillies team is the same team that's the last few years been really good, gotten into the playoffs. They're a threat. They got to the World Series. It's a similar team. The big difference now is they have a star closer. They have a guy coming in that's going to bring the energy. It's going to get the crowd into it, and he's going to come in and throw 103.3 miles an hour. So, like, yes, they didn't get a stud outfielder. They added Harrison Bader, which he fits in Philly. He's going to help them at times. But he's not a stud. They didn't get a star outfielder. Of course, you could have used Luis Robert Jr. You could have used Aaron Judge on your team. Like, you can always use star players. But the Phillies' problem wasn't offense. It wasn't starting pitching. It's that they needed a closer, and they went and got a closer. So knee-jerk reaction to the trade deadline. Philly, good on you. You got what you needed, and now you're winning ball games. They won a big weekend series against the Detroit Tigers, and Yohan Duran ended up with 2 saves in that series as well. So Phillies, another one. My trade deadline winner, the Padres. Look, they were my winners for a reason. They added 1 million players, but they've already seen a lot of that come to fruition. Mason Miller's down there throwing 103 miles an hour in the back end, getting himself out of jams by punching out guys. Ramon Laureano hitting homers the opposite field. It's not a player that was acquired, but it was a player that was not traded away. And Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease has a high ERA this year. Look, I don't care. Dylan Cease is a stud pitcher. And if you really want to dive into the advanced analytics, it tells you Dylan Cease should not have the ERA he does. He's not having the best season. I'm not talking like Cy Young numbers because he has Cy Young stuff. But what I am saying is his ERA should not be as high as it is. And his advanced analytics say as much. Well, they did not get rid of Dylan Cease. They ended up keeping him. And now on Sunday, he goes out there and absolutely shoves, punches out 9 guys. Really good outing for him. So the players that you did acquire are helping. The players that you didn't trade away are helping. And the rest of your team that was already really good are seemingly starting to play really well all together now with this new combo. So obviously, the Padres, they were my trade deadline winner for a reason. Knee-jerk reaction. They look good, of course. But the Phillies, good on the Phillies. They got their closer, and I think that's paying big dividends for them. Let's talk about the Miami Marlins, baby. Marlins need some loving. It was July 11th. Let's take ourselves back to July 11th. The Miami Marlins were 24-40 on July 11th. Well, here we are, just 3 weeks later, and the Miami Marlins are back to 500. They're a 500 ball club now. They just swept the New York Yankees at home, and over 100,000 fans showed up over the course of the series. It's a 3-day record for Lone Depot Park down there in Miami. It's the first sweep of the New York Yankees in franchise history. And now, this is the craziest thing of all. And now the Miami Marlins, the Florida Marlins, whatever team was a part of this in history, the whole organization, the whole franchise in history is the only organization with a winning record against the New York Yankees, both regular season and postseason combined. Just the Miami/Florida Marlins are the only team with a winning record against the New York Yankees. They deserve so much credit. It wasn't long ago, 3 weeks, 24-40, and they had just gotten swept by the Colorado Rockies, and everyone on the planet was making fun of them and saying, what is their direction? Well, you know what their direction is? It's up. Kyle Stowers is a stud. This guy in July hit .364 with 10 homers, 20 RBIs, and an OPS of almost 1,300. And he was named Player of the Month in the National League in July. Kyle Stowers is a stud. They kept Sandy Alcantara. He's back to throwing well on the mound. Their pitching staff looks pretty good. Otto Lopez is good. Like, this team is genuinely fun to watch right now. And over the last 3 weeks, they've been one of the best teams in baseball. And now you sweep the New York Yankees, sell out crowds on Saturday and Sunday, record-breaking crowds. And you know what? Spare me the details. I said this, and I gave them credit online, and I said, you know what? Good for the Marlins. Sell out crowds, over 100,000, record-breaking. Spare me that it was against the Yankees, and so many people were Yankees fans. Of course that's the case. But you know what? The New York Yankees have played multiple series down in Lone Depot Park in Miami, and this has never happened. This is a record breaker, and you know why? Because the Marlins are fun to watch right now. And I'm not trying to say that 100% of the crowd was Marlins fans. I'm not even trying to say that 50% of the crowd was Marlins fans. But what I'm saying is Marlins fans are showing up. Of course, the Yankees being in town helped attendance, but it is what it is. Record-breaking. Marlins fans were showing up. There were plenty of Marlins fans there. They deserve a ton of credit. And this organization is finally bringing fans back to the stadium. That's what needed to happen. And it could go downhill. And I'm not saying they're going to finish and be a playoff team, but the direction is found. And the direction for the Miami Marlins is up. You can see it. You can see the future with Kyle Stowers and Connor Norby. Thank you, Baltimore Orioles. And, the pitching staff that they're putting together, and Yuri Perez and Edward Cabrera and Sandy Alcantara. I don't know how long every one of those guys is a part of it, but it's a fun pitching staff and it's a fun offense to watch. So I just think the Miami Marlins deserve a ton of credit. They're back to 500. They swept the Yankees. They've been playing some of the best baseball in all of the league over the last few weeks. And now the crowd's coming back into it. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to give the Miami Marlins the love that they deserve and the fan base the love that I think they deserve for showing up and supporting this team now. Look, you can give a lot of crap to them. The fans don't show up. It's down there in Miami, a new ballpark, and there's never that many fans. Well, you know what? There's never been a reason for the fans to show up. And the World Baseball Classic was a reason for Miami baseball fans to show up, and they did. And now the Miami Marlins are giving fans a reason to show up, and I hope they continue to for the rest of the year, at least while they're playing great baseball. Clayton McCullough, manager of the Miami Marlins, has thrown himself smack dab in the middle of the manager of the year conversation. Season ends right now. It's Pat Murphy with the Brewers, right? It's probably going to be Pat Murphy with the Brewers. But Clayton McCullough has thrown himself in that conversation. Really, really good job. Entire Marlins organization, you have been kicked and beaten down for years and years by the game of baseball and by fans. And you know what? I get it. But I also think now a lot of credit is deserved to a lot of people for trades that were made and the team that's been put together. And now they're starting to play well. And now fans are showing up. And now you're sweeping the Yankees for the first time in franchise history. It just feels like it's turning around. And I wanted to give some love to that organization. So shout out to the Miami Marlins. It's Monday. We're going to do some power rankings today. Although they are not yet out on social media because of my travels back from Bristol, and getting the graphic together and putting all the power rankings together is not a snap of the finger, easy thing to do. But what I can do is talk about it first here on this show before they're out on social media. So for the first time, this week's power rankings, MLB Power Rankings, and we're going to start with a team down 3 spots, and that is the Houston Astros. The Astros acquire Carlos Correa. Vibes get high. They go on the road to Boston, and they get swept. Boston Red Sox sweep the Houston Astros, and the Astros continue to fall down in the power rankings. They need to get healthy, and they need it to happen fast. There are reinforcements on the way. Pitching is starting to get healthier and starting to get close to being back. Jeremy Pena is back, so they're going to start getting healthier here over the next couple of weeks, couple months, not couple months. Before the playoffs, they should be in a much better shape than they are now. But as of now, they're struggling. They're going through it right now, and they've fallen 3 spots again down to number 10, barely holding on in the power rankings, but still grasping the top of the AL West. At number 9, I'm going to go those Boston Red Sox. New to the power rankings. They've won 5 in a row. They swept the Houston Astros. They came into the All-Star break, the hottest team in the game of baseball, come out of the All-Star break, and it was not good. And now they're back to playing great baseball, winning 5 in a row, sitting right there towards the top of the AL East, just behind the Toronto Blue Jays. They're ahead of the Yankees. Red Sox are playing really good baseball. Won 5 in a row, sweep the Astros. They're here at number 9. At number 8, I'm going to go with the New York Mets. Down 4 spots. The Mets are down 4 spots because they lost the series to the San Francisco Giants, who just sold, and they got swept earlier in the week as well by the Padres. So had to drop them down 4 spots. At number 7, up 1 spot, just kind of to flip-flop with a couple teams there at the end. Up 1 spot, I went with the Dodgers. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays. They beat the Cincinnati Reds, who have been playing good baseball, and they jump up a spot. At number 6, I'm going with the Detroit Tigers, staying the same here. They lost the weekend series to the Philadelphia Phillies. They swept the series earlier in the week against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I decided to just keep them here as is. At number 5, the San Diego Padres. This is the first power rankings since the trade deadline. And you have the Padres adding a bunch of players and playing really good baseball. They swept the New York Mets on the week, and then they beat the St. Louis Cardinals in the series over the weekend. So really good week. Many upgrades to the roster. Padres up 4 to number 5. At number 4, down 2 spots, I'm going with the Toronto Blue Jays. They lost to the Royals. They lost to the Orioles, and they're losing ground in the power rankings because of it. So down 2 to number 4. At number 3, staying the same, the Philadelphia Phillies. They beat the Tigers in the weekend series, which was huge for me to see. Post-trade deadline, you add Duran, you get your closer at the back end, vibes are high, huge series win against the Detroit Tigers, who have been one of the best teams in the game of baseball all year long. So they stay put. At number 2, I'm going with the Chicago Cubs, down 1 spot. You did beat the Orioles over the weekend, but you lost the series to the Brewers. Vibes were high. The NL Central clash was this big to do, and it's a new look Cubs team. You have Kyle Tucker there in the outfield. You get your additions in with Willie Castro. They didn't have him yet when they played the Brewers. But vibes have been high in Chicago. They've been a really good baseball team. They were number 1 in the power rankings. Brewers series happens, and you lost. You lost the series to the Milwaukee Brewers. Then you lose the series to, or you beat the Orioles. But because of that loss, I'm going to drop them down 1 spot to number 2 because the new number 1 team in my Major League Baseball power rankings for the first time ever at the very top is the Milwaukee Brewers. Up 4 spots. You beat the Chicago Cubs. You sweep the Washington Nationals. Shout out Milwaukee Brewers. Pat Murphy. That team has been incredible. And for the first time ever, the Milwaukee Brewers take the top spot in my Major League Baseball power rankings. So 10 through 1 this week. I'm going Astros at 10, Red Sox, Mets, Dodgers, Tigers at 6, and then the top 5, Padres at 5, Blue Jays, Phillies, Cubs, and Brewers. As you all know, Flippin Bats presented by FanDuel, and we're going to do a little Dinger Tuesday segment. This comes out on Monday in the afternoon, so we'll have this ready for everyone listening on Tuesday. Dinger Tuesday is a big day because you get a 50% profit boost on any player to hit a homer, and we're going to take Corbin Carroll on Tuesday against Yu Darvish. He's 8 for 15 against Yu Darvish with 2 homers. 533 batting average with 2 home runs and those 15 at bats, 4 extra base hits. Corbin Carroll locked in against Yu Darvish. We're going to take him for Dinger Tuesday. 50% profit boost on FanDuel Sportsbook. So before we finish up, I mentioned at the beginning that I just heard about this situation with the viral Coldplay Kiss Cam helping Freddie Freeman figure it out and turn it around, and now he's been raking ever since. So we all know what happened, right? If you've been living under a rock, at the Coldplay concert a couple weeks ago, the CEO of Astronomer, I think it was, or is, he was the CEO, he isn't any longer, but the CEO of Astronomer was caught on the Kiss Cam with somebody else in the company, another higher up in the company. Look, I don't have all the details of all these people. It's about Freddie Freeman, but I'm getting to it. The CEO was caught with another exec in the company on the Kiss Cam. They were both married to somebody else. They're caught on this Kiss Cam, and it's this whole viral thing. And now they're going through divorces, and they've been let go or removed from the company. That's a whole thing. But the Kiss Cam went viral because they were holding each other, and it's out everywhere. Well, someone put a video together of those two on the Kiss Cam, and cropped them out of the like Jumbotron and overlaid that on a video of Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam in the World Series. And so they put this together to troll Yankees fans, right? So imagine the video of Freddie Freeman hitting the walk-off grand slam with that couple overlaid, like hugging each other on it. Okay? Now you have the image. Well, somebody sent that to Freddie Freeman. Somebody sent that video to Freddie Freeman, and he acknowledged it and like laughed at it and thought it was funny, but he noticed in the video something about his swing from that night in Game 1 of the World Series. And it was something about his front foot and maybe a little more closed and getting some more leverage throughout his swing. But just from having that video sent to him, he recognized something about his swing. He got to work. He went back to doing that, and he's been raking ever since. So the viral kiss cam moment at the Coldplay concert has allowed Freddie Freeman to figure it out and start raking once again. Baseball, you know? All it takes is one little thing. And right now, Mookie Betts needs one little thing. Mookie is not having a good year. Mookie's hitting like 233 with 11 homers, I think, on the year. Tough year right now for Mookie Betts. But Freddie Freeman, back to raking because of that. Honestly, incredible. I love that. What a fun show. What a fun weekend. Obviously, I wish the weather had stayed away in Bristol. But I really appreciate all the players that came to talk to us on the show. And man, caught up with so many guys. Jose Trevino is a really good guy. Was able to catch up with him. Will Benson, Austin Riley, talked to him for a while. Drake Baldwin, Nick Allen, Andrew Abbott. I feel like I'm still missing some players, but Brent Suter, obviously. Really, really fun event down there. And Brian Hayes, new addition of the Cincinnati Reds. Talked to him for a little while as well. Genuinely, every single one of them was so pumped up to be there. And it just sucks it rained. But things happen. It was really fun to be there and to see it. I've never been to Bristol Motor Speedway. I've never seen a baseball game that 90,000 people showed up to be at. But really cool to be there. And now we're back in the swing of things here. Really appreciate you all for listening and watching. Wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever, please hit that follow button if you can. But watch us on our YouTube channel, Flippin Bats Pod. We put every episode out there you can watch. I always hop in the comments and talk to you guys and answer questions or just have conversations with you all in the comments. And it really does help. So please, if you're watching, like the video, leave a comment on the video. Obviously, please subscribe. That does really help us here. And 2025 is the year of Flippin Bats. So we need it. You all are a part of it. And for that, it means the world. I love you guys. I love this community. I love the way we talk about baseball and are able to do that every single week and go to these big events and talk about them. It means the world. I love you guys. I love this community. John Smoltz coming up in just a couple of days, who was there on the call at Bristol Motor Speedway. Can't wait to talk to him. But until then, remember, my friends, find your bat and flip it. Peace. Flippin Bats is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 and older and present in select states. For Kansas, an affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.